lately it feels like Transformers has had a lot of really cool figures come out, especially with Studio Series. Stuff that I would say is actually is probably some of the best of the line. But at the same time, I feel like Transformers has lost a lot of the fun and whimsy that it used to have. It's become very generic to some degree. We do get Studio Series, like I said, it's really good. But then we get mainline figures that, I don't know, it feels like we used to get them and they were, back in 2007 or so, really entertaining. Lots of variety, lots of gimmicks. Every now and then a hit or miss, but lately it feels like the misses on those mainline figures have been like way higher, and the gimmicks that we've been getting have been very mid at best. To point out an example, let's go with like the Smash Changers. So these were toys that were large, expensive, about the price of a Voyager class, I believe $35. And it's not a terrible thing. It's got a fun gimmick that'll entertain you for a few minutes, maybe. But the problem is it's very limiting. The action figure itself is not super usable. It's got kind of a crappy looking vehicle mode, or gorilla mode if you have the Optimus Primal. And yeah, it just, there's not a whole lot going on with it. And I've seen it in all sorts of clearance bins. I've seen it in flea markets. It just doesn't seem like it's quite picking up. Then we've also had things like, they have these little ring things. I guess they go on the tip of your finger. And they're Transformers, $5 or something like that. I don't see those as being all that fun. I did enjoy the Rise of the Beasts weaponizers that came out, but at the same time it was $10, and we were getting a kind of Transformer toy that's about like an inch long. It's just like super tiny, not very dynamic. You can use it as a weapon, or you can use it as a tiny little creature that's not very usable. Yeah, so I felt like that was a miss too. So a lot of the movie ones have been a miss. A lot of the recent cartoons haven't had that great of toys, and I feel like there's a lot of gimmicks that they've had in the past that they could just revive. And honestly, I'm going to go over 3 things, including a separate kind of toy line, that they should bring back. Things that, in my honest opinion, would make the Transformers toys a lot more fun again, and bring back a lot of the experimentation that kind of went on. It feels like now we just are too afraid to try things. I feel like that's Hasbro in general, though. Hasbro figures out, collectors like very specific thing, let's do very specific thing. And then for kids, they're like, here's a little something, just because I know you're buying something for your kid while you're getting yourself that $100 collectible or $60 collectible. You got to bring home that $10 figure for your kid, right? So let's go over that real quick. So first up, I would say we need to bring back Cyberverse. So these were really fun toys. They have just the basic amount of detail that you would need to get the idea, this is the figure, this is their car mode, stuff like that. But an easy and fun transformation normally. As a kid, these things are super easy to transform. As an adult, these things are just basically, you can transform them in your sleep, which is great. It makes it so you can switch back and forth for play like super easy. When you have something like a Studio Series, or even, God willing, a Masterpiece, if you need to switch from bot mode to robot mode, it's a nightmare. And even with the more recent small figures they've had with Core Class, they've been a little tricky with their transformation, and at the same time, I feel like they're kind of just Studio Series, but shrunk down. They kind of go for, well, it's a Studio Series figure from the movie that's like really small, so let's make it that. They had Wheelie, which honestly he could have been a pack-in with another figure. They had the Last Night, I can't remember, Berserker I think his name was, or something. It's like that creepy little goon. He's a cool figure, but again, they could have put him as a pack-in really easily with a Studio Series figure, and honestly just raise the price slightly, and I think no one would really complain. But let's say they want to keep Core Class anyway and just do this in addition, right? I think this would be a lot better than a lot of the mainline figures that we've been getting, and I know the tooling for these can't be any more than what they've been doing anyway. When it comes to those little finger puppet things, they have a little exploding mechanism, whatever. You could probably put these out for just maybe $1 more than that, and these are really fun figures. Like this Optimus Prime here, super cool. And then probably my favorite is just the Bumblebee ones, because he captures a lot of the cuteness of Bumblebee. especially for the movies, he also captures a lot of the likeness. And the transformation's super basic, so it's literally just you pop that there, you drop the feet in, snap this together. Let's go here. And then these arms here are gonna swivel in. Boom. And over here. Boom. It's not a huge amount of parts, it's not a huge amount of detail or paint, and these are super achievable, but also super fun. I feel like we could make a return to these very easily. It's kind of insane that we haven't, but I guess in a way these have been phased out by Core Class, and I think that's really disappointing because Core Class is not in the same spirit as these Cyberverse figures. So that would be my first. Let's see what my second is. So next up, I would say mech-tech. Mech-tech is just such a cool concept. I feel like it works really well with the Transformers figures. To have their weapons themselves transform, that's just sick. And the way it does it too, by having mechanisms that do that, absolutely awesome. So for anyone who's not fully informed, let me move him out of the way. Normally you would get a weaponizer like this, right? So this would be a transformer that transforms into a weapon, and he's just a little bot. So nothing all that amazing with him. But then with these mech-tech weapons, let me grab one that's super easy to do. You get this, which is a nice little chainsaw with a little blaster on the end. And then the transformation we get is it becomes an even more badass weapon. And for this one's just super fun. This is like a fidget almost. I could do this all day. Just so fun. So we've got that one. We've got this one here, which came with, I believe, Megatron. And this one you just push here. Let me hold this in place. Boom! You get this cool double-barreled weapon. And then this one you can lock in place by just twisting the ladder off to the side. And look at that. Drop the handle there and you can actually have them hold it. Look at that. That is so cool. And then it just transforms right back into a trailer. So it's just, I don't know, that feels so much smoother than having to do the whole transformation process. And it's just so much fun to do. Here's an Ironhide one. This one's a little busted, but we can still get the idea. It juts forward and then spirals the cannon. Yeah, there you go. Ah, dude. I guess that sort of tooling is just kind of unheard of nowadays, but here's the Optimus Prime one, too. I don't know. Honestly, if there were a deluxe class figure that I was just kind of like, maybe I'm not really going to pick up, but then I see it comes with one of these, this could be a selling point for me, because, I don't know, these were just fun. So this one here starts out as a regular rifle. I believe this is an Optimus Prime one. It's missing a few parts maybe, but you get a cool rifle, and then you press here, you get an even bigger rifle with these big old cans hanging out. Even the barrel there juts forward. That's just so cool. It's so smooth on all of these. And this one has a locking mechanism too, so you can either do it with a one hit, or you can push it in and turn, and then it holds. I don't know. These, I think, would make a great addition to our current Transformers. So let's move on to the next one. So finally, something that I think should make a return is the Human Alliance figures. These were just so much fun. So what we get with these is a very complex transformation, yes, and it takes a lot of time to move these guys back and forth. But what you end up with is a really nice looking car mode that's very accurate to the car. It has seats that you can put little humans in, which you get these little humans, like this guy here. I believe this guy's name is Sparkplug. Kind of cool. Really cool little figure that's all articulated and crap, and he can ride with them. And because of that, they upscaled these figures a little bit, so they go from deluxe size normally to about Voyager class size. And then you get a bunch of gimmicks on them too. So for him, he had a missile launcher. I lost the missile. But he also has a little mouth-moving gimmick where you push on his hair up here, and he can talk. I don't know. That's super cool. And they came with all sorts of stuff. Like, what would happen is you can transform some of these parts to become like seats so that you can pop the figure in. They can shoot with them. And that's part of the alliance part, They team up with the robots and they can drive the car, or they can pilot a gun or something like that. And that was just so much fun. And then for the Transformers themselves, we got a really detailed version, especially with characters like Jazz and I feel like Skids here. We got really good figures. Especially for such an ugly guy, they captured his beauty so well. Look at that. I don't know. So this is the only one I had out of storage right now, but I feel like this is a great example of how much detail goes into these. Just a hulking figure. What we did end up is with a lot of kibble because they have to fit a lot in there. But at the end of the day, I feel like this is still a really good figure, and all of the gimmicks that we get alongside it make it so much fun that returning to it is just not a problem. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think about that. So in summation, basically, I feel like our toy lines have gotten a little boring, a little afraid to try new things, and I feel like bringing back some of these concepts gives them another chance to try new things in addition to bringing back some of the old stuff. Things that I feel like had great concepts and could have been fleshed out even more. Tell me what you guys think. Which one of these do you think should definitely make a comeback? If I'm stupid and you think none of these could make a comeback or should even, just say in the comments. I really want to know. Tell me what you think.